Hey kiddies, Robin Miller for RacingLineTV here in good old wet St. Petersburg, Florida to talk about the 2014 IndyCar season, which kicks off here this weekend. First and foremost, driver changes. The biggest name to join IndyCar racing in a long time, Juan Pablo Montoya. We call him Juan Montoya. That's when he was the kart champ in 1999, the Indy 500 champ in 2000. Went to Formula One, won races there, banged wheels with the best of them, went to NASCAR, didn't have that much fun. Now he's back where he belongs in open wheel racing, driving for not Chip Ganassi, Roger Penske, which is a great dynamic in his own because it's kind of like we think that Montoya wants to give Ganassi a little jab and maybe kick his butt a couple times. But Montoya's already drawn a lot of media interest, and just a lot of fan interest because he was such a galvanizing force when he raced. He was so exciting to watch drive a race car. Other things, another guy that came back to the series full-time, Ryan Briscoe, right behind me, driving Chip Ganassi's fourth car. He won races for Roger Penske. He damn near won the championship, except for an accident at Japan. He probably would have been the champ in 2009 or 2010. This guy knows how to pedal a race car. He knows how to win races, and he'll be another good addition to the series. Carlos Munoz, the Rookie of the Year last year at Indianapolis, parlayed that into a full-time ride with Andretti Motorsports, kind of taking E.J. Viso's place. Then Dale Coyne's going to run two cars. He's got a guy named Carlos Huertas. Nobody really knows much about this kid except he's probably got $3 or $4 million to buy the ride. He's going to run the road course races. We don't know who's going to run the ovals. We kind of hope it's Connor Daly or somebody that's been on an oval before that we've heard of. That would be nice. Then we have a kid from Russia, Mikhail Ashnik, whatever it sounds. I can't even pronounce it or spell it, but he's been fast in testing. He's going to be Simon Pagenaud's teammate with Peterson Schmidt Motorsports, and he's just got some European road racing experience, so everything's new to him on an oval. But the most important thing is, lately in the last 3 or 4 years in IndyCar racing, we haven't had a lot of field fillers that got in the way like we did a few years ago, whether it was IndyCar, the IRL, or kart, guys that didn't belong there. The field's been pretty strong. But what we don't have this year for the first time is a female. No Simona Di Silvestro. Obviously, Danica Patrick's gone. Sarah Fisher's just a team owner now, not a driver. I think that might be a void IndyCar kind of wishes they'd have filled because Simona was popular with the fans and she was a good race driver. She never was on a really good team, but it'd been nice to see that happen. So the other things for 2014 to look for, no more double file restarts on road courses and street circuits. But there are going to be double file restarts at Fontana and at Pocono, which should be interesting, and the other ovals at Iowa, but not at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But you really don't need a double file because it's so exciting when everybody lines up. They get such a run coming off the corner, and that's where a lot of the passing's done on the restarts anyway. They're also going to close the pits as soon as the yellow comes out. Last year, Bo Barfield, the chief steward, tried to keep the pits open to put a little more strategy into it if you were lucky enough to dive in and make a pit stop, but they decided they're going to go back to the old days, close the pits as soon as there's a yellow, which I think the fans kind of like the fact that there was kind of a game of chance going on when the yellow came out. And finally, you got Verizon come along as a series title sponsor, and if any group needed a title sponsor like Verizon, it's IndyCar. They have no national presence whatsoever as far as commercials, and I think what you're going to see here in the next month or two, a lot of Verizon commercials, a lot of IndyCar drivers getting some national TV exposure, which is exactly what this series and what these drivers need, because right now they're faceless names to a lot of people, and if you can put their personalities, which there's quite a bit of, where it's Tony Kanaan. We didn't mention Tony Kanaan. He took Dario Franchitti's ride, but I think everybody kind of understood that was going to happen. It's kind of old news. We just kind of updated you earlier, but TK's taken over the 10 car. He's the defending Indy 500 winner, one of the more popular winners in the last few years, and the reason that it's a good deal is you can see what a great personality. We've all known Kanaan for a long time. We know how funny he is and what a good personality is. You got a guy like him and a guy like James Hinchcliffe. If Verizon brings their personalities out in television commercials, that's exactly what NASCAR's been able to do, and that's what IndyCar lags way behind in. So we're looking forward to the 2014 season. Keep it tuned here to Racing Line Television.